questions, et cetera, et cetera. So just a little bit about me. My name is Ed Lozano. My background is in broadcast news. So I used to work for the Tribune Group, and I used to work for the Post Newsweek Group. So if I remember right, there should be a Post Newsweek or a former Post Newsweek station in y'all's market there, or in y'all's area. Jacksonville? I think there's one out there.
There's one here in Orlando, but I didn't see them on.
I'm gonna walk around. Yeah. Okay. So that's my background, and then H&C Communications, that was out of the Texas area. So some smaller groups, but really, I now work with a group called DTAGS, and DTAGS is based in Bixby, Oklahoma, which is a suburb of Tulsa, and it was founded by Mike Burke and Sheila Burke. And basically, they were former folks that worked for Vivex, or Level 3. And Mike really was one of the leads on designing that system, or part of this main system. So when they left there, they opened up DTAGS, and really DTAGS has multiple units to it, but basically it's transmission. So here in this facility, we do the 4K transmission for AT&T DirecTV out of this facility. So we've got, I believe, redundant 20 gig pipes coming into here. We're on the AT&T backbone. We have 24 transmit, 24 receives coming in here. There's a satellite truck. There was a KCU truck that we have out here. There's partnerships. There is a former downlink facility about 1 block away that we're looking at tying into. So that's a little bit about this place, but really what happened was I work on Thursday Night Football with the NFL Network. So when the whole COVID situation went down, we were looking at this situation. We had heard that NFL Network Culver and NFL Films had gone down. They were not allowed back in their office. So we came together with a plan within really 24 hours of how to bring these folks back online. And really, we wanted to bring them through our facility here in Tulsa. And this was something that we really weren't ready for. I mean, we could do small stuff, but something to this level was a little interesting. So let me give you guys a little tour. I'm actually on the DTAG side of the building. We have a couple of areas, but let me come here and bear with me, folks. iPad switching the video. Here we go, switch camera. So we're working with some live views. So this side of the facility, we call this room over here the vault. And this actually houses where the main equipment is. These are racks that are from NFL Network. They're tied on a 1 gig circuit, and we're doing file transfers back and forth between NFL Network and here. Graphics, we've got the EBS machines talking. We're actually talking. It's a neat little device. I think it's over here, actually. We've got the Elvis controller here, but he's actually controlling the servers in Culver City. So we're bringing back the visuals. Well, he's remote desktoping here to Culver City to the EBS machines, and he's got IP director and a couple other stuff here. But we're actually bringing all the video back on 2 10 muxes coming back from Culver City. So the operator's talking here, but he's got a serial connection, which is right here. So he's got the controller talking to IP. So he's got a static IP talking to another device in Culver City, tied through the switch that's going back on the gigabit network going back. And he says that it's almost instantaneous. The only latency that we're seeing is, of course, on the return video. And then he has also access to, I guess, something called Fork, another playout system that NFL has. So we are really controlling 8 machines coming back in here for one operator. But during shows, they're actually doing, there's actually another individual that's logging in from their home. So that's that station. And part of the whole social distancing, we wanted to separate people around the building. So we've got graphics over here, and normally they're logged into the Viz machine. Let's see here. Yep, there it is. The Viz back in, this is actually a Viz back in Culver. So she's got 2 visits that she has access to from the station. And then coming back on the MUX is the preview page and the error page that they see back here, coming back in here. So these machines are actually some Macs that are sitting here in this fly pack that came from NFL. But this room is actually storage for a bunch of these red cases for our transmission side of things, and it's literally a vault. So if a tornado were to come through, this room is not going anywhere. So we call this the vault room. It's 12-inch concrete all around. So it's a nifty little room. So that's the vault. This is graphics and EVS. I'll take you guys back to the engine room, the hallway here. Please stop me at any time for questions, what have you. That's what I'm here for. So we've got the engine room here, and it's a combination of equipment that was here, and then a lot of this was coming in from PRG, the former VER. So let's see here. We've got, let's see, what can I show you guys here? We've got a couple of live views up here. We had 12 channels to receive. Right now we're currently on 8. Some 4K stuff up here, more 4K encoders. We use Unity Intercom. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that or have that. Unity is a great little system. We're actually, the backbone here in the plant is Dante. So Unity is running our IFBs, comms, et cetera, et cetera. I think we're at, 296 right now, people on the system running off of a Mac Mini. So, so it's been pretty, it's a really robust system. Some 4K decoders, I think what are these, D-Brights or something down here. We had 2 high vision gateways for SRT. We're doing a lot of SRT out of here. Some Kumo routers, main IP. Here's the AT&T side of things. This is the 24 by 24. I know we had to put some cards in and get some other stuff here. So this is our AT&T DMARC. We've got a couple of talk shows in here, some TriCasters down here for smaller shows, and 2 TVUs from NFL Films. This is we've got 15 MUX going back to Culver City, so a 10 and a 5 that are coming out of here. We're primarily a ad tech and a TEM shop, so actually I think all our TEM gear is out right now. FSHDRs are doing our for our remotes, basically our frame syncs. Older RTS systems, some TIFFs, there's a lot of different stuff here, guys. The video DAs are here. This is the Everts side from from PRG. And in order to get our Dante conversion in here, we're actually doing a lot of Dante, or actually Maddie to Dante, and then back out for our embeds, de-embeds. So we're using the Lavos, which are these guys, yep. So these are how we're receiving the HD, well, we're bringing the HD SDI in, de-embedding it, it goes to Maddie, and then Maddie to Dante through, I guess, these guys, and then these guys make it Dante, and then back into the board. So I'll take y'all to audio in a second here. Questions, comments, concerns? I opened it up for you guys. I mean, this is the engine room. Sorry, this is our little heart of operations in here.
I'd say I appreciate the time you're taking to show us this, show us the facility. I noticed everything's in road cases. So do you guys have a tendency to set up for months at a time, or is it days at a time? It seems like a lot of equipment.
So a lot of the stuff that we do is our road shows out of here. So when I take you to the back, you'll see definitely all the road cases. Yeah, this is going to be a more permanent setup. Really, we threw this room together in about 5 days. And a lot of this stuff, I mean, that came in from PRG, it was really supposed to be a smaller show than what it was. So, yeah, I mean, so one thing I didn't explain is we're actually running 3 shows for the NFL Network out of here. So let me take you guys next door and it'll make better sense. And usually the lights are off, but let me kill the lights here. I'll kill the lights. So this is our control room. We ran out of monitoring, so we had to put screens up. So we're missing a screen right now, but the TOC area is basically our little heart of the operation. And really, this was really built for the 4K side of things. So what we've got here is basically we've got folks that are back in their homes on the East and West Coast. And they're basically we're generating multiple SRT feeds out of here with multi-views. So how many multi-views you got going on?
We're using 14 multi-views altogether, but we're sending 9 out of it.
So Ronnie says we're using 14 multi-views, but we're sending 9 out currently. So for example, the director may have one that he wants to have set up. We've got different directors for different shows that they want custom multi-views. This is another director multi-view, Viz, EVS multi-view. I mean, there's just different multi-views that we're sending back out with a latency of about a second, maybe 2 seconds, Ronnie's saying. We've got other stuff that's coming in, so we're monitoring the NFL Network. NFL Network uses Azuro, and Azuro is basically doing SRT point-to-point type stuff. So we have their blades here as well, where we're able to bring in the feeds from people's homes, home cams, or team cams as the NFL calls them. So they're taping other shows, and I think there's an individual in the LA area that's using a TriCaster, so he's getting the SRT feeds to his home and switching or putting together shows there. Live view, TVU monitoring, Zoom, and right now we're getting ready for a scheduled release show tonight. So we're working with a company called Van Wagner out of the Carolinas, and they're doing a lot of web RTC stuff. So that's a lot of how the stuff for the draft came through. So Van Wagner put their decoders here, and we became a clearinghouse for NFL Network and ESPN. So all those cameras and stuff were controlled in the Carolinas, received here, and then distributed out of here. And for our NFL Network side, here's Mr. Warren over here. And this is a Carrera Grass Valley switcher that basically was built in a matter of days. 80 input on this one? 80 input?
This one's 60.
60 input on this one. So this is where we're doing the NFL Network shows out of this side over here for their morning and evening shows. And then tonight's show will be done off that switcher. Questions? I'm here for you guys.
So when you say a clearinghouse, so you're just bringing everything in and you're just passing it through, or are you running the shows for them?
We're doing a combination. So on the draft in particular, all those cameras came through here, and for IFBs and everything, they were created in this shop. So basically, ESPN had a J2K line coming from Bristol to us via AT&T with 16 stems on it. Those then got de-embedded in a MADI device, ran through Dante, re-embedded, and then shot back out in the returns of the WebRTC feeds that were going out via Van Wagner. So we were basically taking the signal and then re-embedding it so they could have IFBs. This was a share between the NFL Network and ESPN. So there was a lot of weight on this facility because there's also, Ronnie here was one of the architects of that, because Bristol couldn't have the amount of people that they normally have in the facility. So they needed an external facility, and we were already working with the NFL Network, so it became a good marriage.
Okay.
And then as part of the whole social distancing, so in this room we usually have like 2 people in this room over here, TD and one of us over here. Engineers would be in the engine room. We basically, I have a small production company out of Texas. We do a lot of ESPN3 shows, Univision type stuff. But in the warehouse, I actually brought my trailer from Texas, and we decided to just strip it out. And we just put Team Audio out here to do the social distancing. And so they had their own area out here in in Audio Land. So then we were talking about cases. There's tons of cases in the back here of just gear and some 4K stuff sitting over there in the thing. So yeah, we basically a lot of sleepless nights in this facility, and we are expanding. We're adding I think 2 more Carreras into the mix, and there are some new tech stuff in here. There's some TriCasters in here. There's a Ross sitting right here that it's going to come back online. So at the end of the day, we're going to have 8 control rooms sitting in this facility. 4 audio boards, 2 of them are going to be Calracs, and 2 of them are going to be Yamahas. And really with the whole REMI thing in mind here, we're basically looking towards the future and trying to see where that's all going to go for all of us, actually. And we're also on the 4K. We're doing a lot of stuff with AT&T still, so we're trying to stay in that realm as well.
Is your whole, are you looking at building out 2110 infrastructure?
We are. The question becomes, if we, like right now, if we were to buy a new router, I mean, we're talking how many million to do that? So, do you go with an Evertz? Do you go with a Ross? With 2110 in mind, are we going to do a conversion down the road from baseband over, or do you just take that bite right now? And the problem for us right now, or the challenge is, we need a router tomorrow. I mean, we've already maxed out what we got in the room, and I need something over 500, at the bare minimum. But to answer your question, that's in the plan. It's going to be who's going to have the best product and how deep is the pockets, and I think that's something for everybody. I mean, it'd make life so much easier. Let's open up a 1 gig circuit to NFL and let's marry the routers and have a nice day.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, what we did here, we saw a need. I mean, this facility has bandwidth. I mean, we've got the pipe coming in here. You all know about the importance of Tulsa, so we're lucky by that fact. With the level 3 and everything, and really a lot of the fiber just coming through this town here. It's I think the importance right now in this day and age, especially with SRT, I think SRT is going to be a huge thing. I mean, Mike has a huge investment in ASI gear, and that all may be going to the wayside. I mean, so I think WebRTC is going to be an interesting protocol to look at as well. SRT, like I said, and it's interesting looking at some of these companies that are popped up or seemingly popped up, and looking at what they're doing. It's interesting. It's very, and I mean, look at what we're using right now. I mean, we use Zoom for the morning show. One of the guys doesn't have enough bandwidth to support a Zero Team Cam system, and we're using Zoom. And I think this is going to become the new norm, sort of like how LiveView years ago became the new norm. And I know my chief engineer back in the day goes, "Oh, no one's ever going to accept that. It's garbage." And here we are, unfortunately, so it's a very interesting time that I think that just popped up overnight seemingly. So, and I imagine y'all are seeing the challenges, as well. So, but yeah, I mean, what else can I answer for y'all?
You mentioned a lot of new tech stuff. Are you doing anything with their NDI protocols, or are you just using that to move the SDI around?
So,
and I shouldn't say
interesting
just.
So I was very fearful. I mean, I live in San Antonio, so I'm from Texas. So I've been living up here for a month and a half now. And New Tech, those very good friends, they're about 15 minutes away from the house because New Tech is there. But the NDI in the beginning scared me because all I saw was someone saying, "Hey, look, I can get internet out of this switch," and then taking down the whole network. That scared me. But now, and actually right before all this happened, we started dabbling a lot more into it. And now we're actually doing, if y'all have taken a look at the Bird Dog NDI cloud system, very interesting. We're actually moving files from here, this plant. I'm doing some conversion. I'm just using a TriCaster to go SDI to NDI, and actually not a TriCaster, a vMix system. And I'm doing NDI cloud, and I'm sending 8 feeds to someone in LA with under a second latency. it's interesting stuff, you know, and the quality's not bad. I mean, there's hiccups in there. We're at the mercy of his internet. I mean, his internet went down. It's very pricey, I think, you know, for 2 channels to do, was it $1,500 or $1,000? It's pretty pricey, but, and we're actually trying to see if we can do an NDI cloud instance out of this facility and host it out of here, and sort of, you know, so if someone wants to come to us and say, hey, we need an instance, I can undercut those guys and it's already here. It's going to be an interesting protocol. You know, I know a couple of stations that are using it to bring back city cams. I don't know how they're doing the control, but, you know, it's an interesting protocol.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's, I mean, the technology's been very interesting this past the past month, and it's like, all right, how do we make this happen? How do we make that happen? And I'll tell you, primarily is folks here like news stations, stuff like that, those type of backgrounds, or radio, or a
It's
little
a
bit of
mix.
both. It's a mix.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mix.
You know, I'm going to tell you guys, if you don't have the Unity system, look at Unity Intercom. It's very, very interesting. And the cost of entry, I know we're going to probably sell the service through here as well, but the cost of entry is pretty good. And, you know, if you have a existing Matty or Dante system in your shop and you have your RTS or Clearcom or Riedel tied to that, it's going to be very interesting. I mean, it's neat for your reporters or your talent, and the latency is next to 0, and it's already using devices you already have. You know, we're using it for everything here. And actually, I see
We've been
Mike
using it for a
walking
while.
by. No, yeah. Have you?
Yeah, we've got it tied
Yep.
to an RTS system there. We've had it for about 3 years, I think.
Well, and you know, we actually use it for, Mike has it on the 4K system. So we're actually marrying mobile TV groups, trucks, with their, I think they have Matty on their trucks, and they're doing a Matty to Unity Connect back here to the hub, and we interface that way. And it works great. And actually during this situation, we were looking at taking the Unity Connect, expanding the Dante network to one of our A1s. In the beginning, we were going to have an A1 sitting in his home in LA mixing the show. And he got it all working. He was talking to the Yamaha board in the trailer here, and he rented from PRG a touchscreen monitors, and he was able to do it in real time. I mean, and the latency was nothing. And what we wanted to do is to then extend the Dante network, so then he could go Dante to analog and sit there in his home and using Unity to do that. And I mean, you can do it. People are doing it. So I mean,
what percentage of Matty versus Dante are you seeing?
You know, I'm actually seeing it a lot more in the trucks.
Of Dante.
Of Matty, actually. Of
Really?
Matty sitting in the trucks. But
So they're just,
I mean,
they're piping that right into the routers then, as far as pure Matty without converting it, right?
Exactly. But man, you're throwing a lot on that. You know what I mean? You're riding a lot on that backbone.
Yeah.
You know, and for comms, I mean, honestly, we're looking at getting a Atom M frame here, putting that in, and then with some Omnio cards, and then running that across a VLAN. So I should have shown you guys. So we have these kits. Basically, they have, y'all know, actually in the Jacksonville area, Kevin Anselin, T21, former
Yes.
ad tech guy.
Yes.
So Kevin is what's now Viatech, I guess now Viatech bought him or something.
Well, it's VTech, but yes.
VTech, okay, sorry, VTech, Viatech. I keep saying Viatech, but actually, I'll show you guys this. Let me go back into the engine room.
So it's their encoder then that you're using?
We're using a combination, their encoder, actually high vision encoders, but where is that frame? Actually, it's right here. So switch. So it's actually, he's now putting them in open gear chassis.
But
so
they just came out.
Yep, the cards are in there. So these are actually, so the folks on the other side, the directors, they're actually getting a, it's a 4RU case that we built here that has a T21 decoder in it, and it's called, I call it the football. And basically it has two T21 decoders, HDMI out, and it has a Meraki gateway because we're basically a Cisco Meraki plant here. So basically, once they fire that up to their home internet, they're on our VLAN. And then we can just get right into the device and remote control it instead of having to do like a team viewer or Parallels instance. You know, I had a switch here, but actually, hold on, I've got one over here I can show you. Now, I think I have a football over here that I can show you guys. Didn't go out, but it's, you know, I know there's some challenges, you know, with people trying to do these, you know, actually, I'll show you guys this football right here that we got. Give me 1 second. Yep, here it is. Put it on the. So Mike custom built these. So basically, just goes in a case. We ship it out via SOS. Got the Meraki system on there that then they can plug into their home internet. The 2 decoders are inside, Wooler for them to monitor, HDMI off the back. If they lose home internet service, this has a cellular backup inside of it. And this is how our directors can talk, or I mean, can see everything in real time with the SRT stuff. So,
Thanks.
yeah. So, I mean, there's about 10 of these kits, I think, built, and 9 are deployed right now currently. And if they say, hey, we've got a problem, you know, we can go in there, look at what they're doing, and assist accordingly. You reboot the decoder and, you know, they don't have to do anything. So, yeah. Questions? Any other questions?
How tricky was getting the EVS hooked up, or did that go together pretty quick?
You know, I was very well. Actually, our biggest the EVS system was actually pretty easy. Actually, Jeff, if he's in here, nope, he's not in here yet. Actually, came to us with the whole little serial to IP solution. It was not that difficult. The hardest part for me was trying to wrap my head around the spot box situation and getting the Elvis to a X file. And I'm like, why are we still using serial cables? Because it had to go to a Lance controller to talk to the switcher. And I'm like, guys, there's got to be a better solution for this, because that was a little bit outside of my area expertise there. But we had some smart people working on it, and now I understand the importance of a Lance controller. But, you know, getting those devices to talk and creating a spot box, you know, when we didn't have one in here, was a tricky part. I mean, that was, you know, tricky part for me anyways. Getting this other stuff, you know, Culver City routes that stuff on a MUX. We tell them, hey, this is everything that we need, and away we went.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah, and I mean, and I know I'm missing a lot, and I apologize that Mike isn't available, but you know, I mean, I'm here. I mean, y'all have my information, and I mean, whatever else we can answer or be of service for y'all, you know, let us know. Like I said, Unity's a cool tool that I think everybody should be using. We're going to probably install some more servers here for people to work from, and you know, any needs with transmission, that's what we're here for. If you guys and ladies have a need for IP or ASI transport, there's a room full of ATEM and AdTech gear in here. 4K, if I don't know if anybody's working in the 4K world, Mike has led the way on that, you know, on the AT&T DirecTV side. So, I mean, we do a little bit of everything out of DTAGS here. And if, for more information, of course, DTAGS.tv is a great place, you know, to go. And Mike's contact, Sheila's on there, and then y'all can reach me through there as well. So
Fantastic.
Very nice.
Cool. Awesome. I appreciate it. I've got to run to go. We're doing the whatchamacallit this evening, the schedule releases tonight. So actually, if you tune over to NFL Network, I believe starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, you'll see a lot of these Van Wagner iPhone cams in play tonight and then that whole show from, let's see, y'all's time 6 to 10 o'clock on NFL Network will be coming out of this facility tonight. So a lot of what y'all saw. So yeah, so you'll say, hey, I saw that. So
That's awesome.
Cool.
All right.
Well, hey, I better run. I appreciate y'all's time, and I'll look forward to chatting with y'all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
guys.
Appreciate
Y'all take care now.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Hey Jeff,
Appreciate
nice
it.
job on this, setting this up, man.
Oh,
Yeah, it went well, Jeff. Thanks.
Worked out well.
good. All
Yep.
right.
It did. This is really good.
Let's do it again next month.
we may still be in these circumstances, so.
That's what I'm
It
thinking.
sounds good to me.
Yeah.
No, we just don't get lunch or dinner included with it. So
The education is priceless, as
yeah,
they say.
no, that did make it easy doing it virtual. There, you could call somebody in Tulsa and didn't have to fly.
Yeah, and to see all his gear without having to drive up there or whatever. I mean, he did a good job.
And I got lunch, so, you know, as long as I got lunch, I'm fine.
Attaboy, Frank.
Yeah, we don't need Frank complaining because it'll just never end.
I had lunch here too, so it was perfect. I'm not complaining.
Oh.
You know, Frank, I thought you were sitting still so well that whole time, and it's just an image of you.
That's what I thought.
He really gets into these things.
Too funny.
Hey, so I learned that from watching TV, you know, so.
Yeah.
I can
That
turn that
picture
on.
looks like it's about 10 years ago too. So
That's
Thanks.
great.
It's actually about a year or two ago, and that's what TV does to you, ages you.
Amen.
Yep.
Amen to that.
Anyway, hey, good to see you guys.
You're blaming that on TV, are you, Frank?
Good seeing you. Yeah. All right, everybody. Well,
Time to jump off.
Well, thanks, Jeff.
is everybody coming out and, or at least walking into the other room and firing up your computer? So.
Hey, your next web today go well.
All right.
You
Sounds
got
good.
lots.
Looking forward to it.
Take care, gentlemen.
Thank
See
you.
you guys.
Everybody.
See ya.
All right.